facing elimination at home with the Lakers and LeBron in town. But the question would be, how will LeBron feel after coming off that overtime victory? Well, Ja Morant, it's great to be young. That is Father Time being, of course, unstoppable.
It is a spectacular play, and LeBron almost got a finger on that one too, but still Morant goes on the top floor to get that play.
Okay, we see some defense here. LeBron on the break, and then Austin Reeves knowing that LeBron's trailing. Lakers within 12. I mean, they were within 1 point in the third quarter. Anthony Davis had a big night, 31-19.
And he owed LeBron, I said this on yesterday's show, that he owed LeBron a big performance in this game because LeBron saved him in game 4 and AD delivered.
And then we don't see a lot of Dillon Brooks here the rest of the way. We see a lot of Ja Morant. He was fantastic because they went on a run, 26-2, when it was a 1-point game, and it was the difference in this contest.
It was, and the Lakers might have run out of gas. Certainly LeBron James did. He admitted so afterwards, and now he's got to recharge with a short turnaround for Game 6.
And that Game 6 is tomorrow night on ESPN. LeBron, 5 turnovers last night, 4 of them coming in transition. Also shot under 30% for the game as he missed 8 threes, went 0 for 5 from the floor in the fourth quarter. LeBron afterwards.
Definitely starts for me tonight. I was not very good at all. I think defensively I was pretty good, but offensively I was, not really good. Tonight I will, and I'll be better in Game 6.
Back here with VC and Allen. Vince, how big of a missed opportunity was this? I know they're up 3-2 and they go back to L.A., but they had the chance to do it right now and end this series.
Absolutely. I think it's a huge miss. And you're playing with fire. You're giving a young team that is very confident, in the locker room when you talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. And I think if you close this out, you give LeBron and as well as AD and everyone else an opportunity to rest up, to prepare themselves for the next series. So, defensively, I thought they were decent, but fourth quarter, Ja Morant was able to get into their paint whenever they wanted. So that's something that, the Grizzlies are going to look into, particularly going on the road. Can Ja get into the paint to create opportunities for himself and other guys for open shots?
Okay, I mentioned Father Time, undefeated here, catching up with LeBron in the legs here, Allen. Specifically the rest. They had the opportunity to rest for a couple of days. Now they got to win tomorrow night. If not, if this is a 7-game series, it's going to be trouble for the Lakers.
This is must win for the Lakers. They have to win Friday. This is like LeBron James as he did in Game 4. He has got to reach deep somehow, some way, like he's done throughout his entire career, and find that extra energy to put this series away on Friday at home. Because if they go back to Memphis, their season is over. Like, they have to look at this themselves as the elimination game, because they know that if they have to go back again, it's short turnaround. Look at that. Game 7 is Sunday. You're playing Friday. You just played last night. There's no time to rest.
And the travel.
And you're flying from LA to Memphis, as we know as well. That's a big part of this. So LeBron has to look at this, and his teammates, who have all talked about how much they are trying to win for him and play for him, they've got to show up as well at home and end this series on Friday.
Vince, as a guy who played in his late 30s in the league and understands that travel, how important is Friday night for the Lakers?
Hey, they need to make sure they have all of the compression shorts, the boots. Try to find a cryo machine. I'm talking about whatever you can to make sure that the guys are Theraguns, you name it, everything that you can think of, so the guys can kind of prop their legs up, get their mind right. I'm not without a shadow of a doubt. I think LeBron will be ready and motivated because of his performance. I mean, we've seen him before say, "Oh, I'll be ready." Just with the Dillon Brooks thing, he's like, "Hey, I just want to play the game. I'll be ready to go," and he was ready to go. I believe it when he said, "I'll be better and I'll be ready to go."
Vince, were you a cryo guy? What were you doing late in your career?
All of that. That's why I named all those things. Kevin, I even have those here now that I use sometimes still.
No, you can give us 20, huh? You can give us 20 minutes right now by doing that, huh?
I can give you 10 or 15 3-point attempts.
10 or 15, but he didn't say if he could do it in two minutes 2 or 3 nights, as we see what the Lakers are going to be facing them potentially with that game Friday, and if they have to go to a game of the night. And the big storyline, Giannis and the Bucks facing elimination at home, hosting Jimmy Butler and the Heat. Let's go to the fourth quarter now. Under 5 minutes left. The Heat down by 9. And it's Jimmy in his bag. Mid-range jumper, got it. Heat down by 7. Not long after. Just over 2 minutes left. Butler again, he had 42 points. Will somebody double team him? We're tied at 111. Giannis, got to stop that train off glass. Yes, and one. Bucks up by 2. He would miss the free throw. That would play a role. Gabe Vincent, are you kidding me? Deep 3, the Heat staying in it. 2 seconds left. Where's Brook Lopez? Where's Brook Lopez? He's not on the floor. Vincent the Butler. What? Are you kidding me? Mike Budenholzer has Giannis at the front covering the inbounds and not on Jimmy Butler, and that ties the game up. We're going to overtime. In OT, 45 seconds to play. It's Jimmy Butler feeling it. Max Strus. Why foul? Do not foul. Why? Why would you do it here? They do it. Giannis on the clear out. Wow. Big foul. Strus makes 2 of 3 free throws. Heat up by 4 now. 13 seconds left. Remember, no Tyler Hero, no Victor Oladipo. Vincent missing the 3. Down by 2. You've got Giannis with the ball. That's what you want. They don't call a timeout. Middleton. And this is the decision. The Grayson Allen, your season on the line. And it's done. Just like that. Giannis stunned. Butler hype. And the Heat are advancing. Giannis staying home.
Do you view this season as a failure?
Oh, my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay, do you get a promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not.
I absolutely love that response. It's great for young kids. It's win or learn. And Giannis nailing it, especially during an emotional moment. Alan Hahn and Vince Carter with us. Now, Vince, as a former player, how would you characterize this? Do you think it was a failure for the Bucks as the 1 seed not advancing to round number 2?
I think within the locker room, yes, you feel like it's a failure. Definitely disappointing. I think from the outside world, you don't want to hear the word failure because you feel like you failed. But they accomplished so much, and they put themselves where they're the number 1 team coming out of the East, and we're playing the best basketball going into the playoffs. So I felt that they were playing the best basketball where they were supposed to, where they were playing well enough to end up in for sure, the Eastern Conference Finals, if not representing the East in the finals. So, yes, I think it's disappointing, and in the heat of the moment, being asked that question, it's something you don't want to hear. Is it a failure when you felt like you let a series slip away? So, as a player, yes, I think as he sits at home, maybe even today, you assess the fact that we didn't get it done. You failed when you felt like we should be representing the East in the finals.
And this feels, Alan, like bigger than just one series loss because you've got Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton heading in potentially the free agency. You've got Giannis and the idea of an extension and his future down the road. When you see big picture with the Bucks, how devastating was last night's performance and this series?
If I'm in the front office, I view this as a failure because of where they were in the standings. They were number 1 in the East, where they were this season defensively in the top 5. They have one of the best players in the world. They were relatively healthy. And you look at it as a failure if you don't get out of the first round, if I'm in the front office. So now you have to assess, where did that failure come from? I look at coaching. And see that we didn't call timeouts when needed. You have your head coach who froze in game 4 and 5 where the opponent had one player that you had to stop and couldn't figure out how. And it might be time to consider a change at coach before you start giving Giannis questions about whether or not he should stay in Milwaukee.
And with that, okay, if you decide to move on from Mike Budenholzer, you have to look at the rest of the roster here. Do you blow this team up here, VC, to make sure you have enough to keep Giannis happy?
I don't think you blow that team up. I mean, what Drew Holiday has done this year, what Brook Lopez has done for their team this year, how close-knit that team is right now. I just think you continue to add pieces to that. But blowing it up, I mean, that's what a superstar player, if you're trying to keep him, does not want to hear, whose goal is to win championships or be in the mix year after year. Hearing the word blow up, why would you want to be a part of that? So I think you keep the core group that has been successful and got things done, and you just add the pieces that you need to support the core group that you have.
Okay, so the 1 seed in the East, they stay home.